Hello, welcome to another edition of From the Bars to the Bricks Prison Ministries. I'm Kev, your favorite felon. How y'all doing today? Today we are going to talk about prison programs. Before we get any further, please like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you can see when I upload. Um, Give me some comments. I want to know what y'all are thinking, alright? So, from a state of Kansas prison, when you go in, first of all, programs to the Department of Corrections are very limited. You have to have under a certain amount of time left to serve to be able to take a program. A lot of these programs you have to take before you can get a minimum wage job or something else. So, if you have a lot of time to do, you're kind of just sitting there stale. Um, And there's ways to get the minimum wage job and stuff. Guys file paperwork and just stay on it and stay on it. And of course, it takes just like it's like any job. If you know someone on the inside that can help you get there, then that's all that's going to help you. If you got someone that's got some clout and everything that can talk and speak for you, that's huge. That's paramount in getting a private industry job in the penitentiary. It's all about who you know. The it's no different than the outside world, on a lot of jobs, and same way with advancements and stuff like that. It's not all just work, It's there's times you're discriminated against, whatever. But so here's the thing: the programs um in that DOC offers, like I said, they're limited. They're hard to get into. Excuse me. Now, when I was in the El Dorado Correctional Facility, I was the president of the Excel JCs. We were a nonprofit organization, and we offered programs and stuff that would help reduce recidivism and increase a man's chance of success. And personal development, leadership development, budgeting, life skills, life coaching type classes, family life, stress management, breaking the cycle of domestic violence, fatherhood, 7 habits of highly effective people. All these classes we had. And our classes were available to anybody at any time. You could just sign up. Now, President of JC's, we worked with reentry, we worked with mental health. Um, with reentry, we had like I said, the 7 habits. That was a program credit class. Fatherhood was another one that became a program credit class. What I mean by a program credit class is these classes were inmate taught, either the class in entirety or a workbook had been written by inmates, presented to administration, everything for approval for these classes. The classes were approved and were being taught. Now, that being said, a lot of people are probably just sitting there, classes by an inmate. Surprisingly enough, you get that from other inmates. And the first thing I'll tell somebody is, well, for one, is this: just because you're in prison, does that make you inept, and does that make you an idiot and can't teach nobody nothing? You don't know nothing. Just automatically makes you a dummy? And well, no. You don't know something you could teach somebody. Well, yeah, okay, but you're an inmate, and there was several of us inmates that had education. Um, I have a couple doctorates. My little brother has a doctorate. My buddy Ormond, who was the former president, chairman of the board, he has some doctorates. You know, it's not like just we just send somebody, just anybody in to teach a class. We were very particular on who taught our classes. But anyway, So anybody could get into our classes. Now, the program credit classes, obviously, there was a sign up, and the program part of it, the state dealt with. We signed you up for the class. We got you in a class. If a guy needed to get his credits by a certain amount of time, of course, they took first priority in them class spots. And we even, uh, at one point, had started doing multiple classes because we had so many people. But anyway, the guys that took our classes, as well as legislature of the state of Kansas and some others, recognized that our programs were actually reducing recidivism, that our programs were making more of an impact than the DOC programs. Why is that? Well, there's a couple reasons. Well, for one, the DOC programs were mandatory. A person will not change until they're ready to change. And then when they are put into a program, even if they want to change, many times it's full of guys that don't want to be there. So they just are disruptive. They don't want to like put their all into it. They're not taking the class serious, and that hampers the learning for other people. With the JC's class, with our classes, for one, we're not signing you up for nothing. Now, I would go out and tell some guys, hey, you need this class. I'm going to put you on the list. I'll see you there. But I knew these guys. And this was something I mean, whatever the subject matter was I was teaching, I felt that they could honestly use this in their life and help them to uh, have a better life in whatever that area was. So they knew that my intentions were pure. And most of the time, they did need that class. But otherwise, we didn't force somebody to take a class. So someone is there on their own. They want to be there. They're interested in the material or interested in making a change in their life or whatever, or the fatherhood program. They're interested in learning how to be a dad from prison, how to be keep contact with their kids, how to, you know, just survive as a dad. Or they may have a kid coming or want a kid someday, so they want to take these skills so they can be prepared. But DOC programming, for one, they have several programs based off of one program model, which isn't necessarily bad. Um, they have a class called Thinking for a Change, and they have taken that class and they change it up a little bit for substance abuse treatment. They change it for they use the same. Let's say they use the same curriculum: substance abuse treatment, sex offender treatment, thinking for a change. Man, and there's one or two others that they use that thinking for a change curriculum for, and I can't think of what they are off the top of my head. But the material in itself is really good material, and because it does it, in order to change something, we got to go look at the root of the problem. We don't, it, we can look at the problem at the all day and it's not going to solve itself, and we can even fix the little things, but it's not going to solve itself till we get to the root. But so but their classes, they didn't seem to maintain order in a lot of them either. JC's classes, if you're in our classes, you're in my class, you're going to be respectful, you're going to wait, you're not going to be rude and out of pocket. You're not going to go out if somebody has something they share in the class, especially like Seven Habits. Fatherhood was a big one. Fatherhood, I had a you don't be talking about stuff outside. Don't be talking about people's kids and their lives and stuff like that. That ain't cool. And if you're caught doing that, you would be out of the class. And because I didn't want. Sometimes people got emotional. You're talking about your kids and fatherhood, and that's a lot of us get real emotional when we talk about our kids, especially when we're locked up and we couldn't see them. We're raising them from prison, so you know people got emotional. It wasn't somebody's place to go out there, man, dude broke down like a bitch over his kid. Yeah, so you got a kid and you don't break down like that and get emotional. Maybe you ought to just look at yourself. There's nothing wrong with this guy's breaking down about his kid. There's probably something wrong with you if you're not. But anyway, our programs, we just we took a lot of pride, and that's what the purpose of the chapter was. That's our mission. That was what we were for. The food stand and the $140,000 a year income and all that for the organization. That was to help our mission. That was not what we're there for. We weren't there to make sure that the guys got fresh, new kinds of body wash every couple months, or colognes, or new foods, or whatever. The variety sales were there to help support our main purpose. The same way with the food stand, it was there to help support our main purpose, and we also help support other charities and stuff outside. But anyway, DOC programming is lacking, and a lot of it is staffing, and they just don't have the capabilities to cover the multitude of classes. Um, the intent, I think, is to kind of help someone rehabilitate as far as making someone take the classes and stuff like that. But the class, when they're taking this class, is one thing, but it's hard to live what they're teaching in a lot of them classes inside the penitentiary. It really is. It's, um, man, the lack of better words, the efforts, you just get the efforts, man. Screw it. I give up. The drugs are plentiful. They're everywhere. So if like you're trying to kick a drug habit, man, it's hard because they're everywhere. On the streets, at least you can go home and get away from it. In prison, you're still smelling or hearing people talk about your buddies that really aren't your buddies. Going, hey man, you want some of this? No, bro, I'm trying to quit. So that's it. The programs, and like I said, I don't know a lot of the staff do the programs because it's their job. A lot of the staff do the programs because they want to, and it's their job. There's a big difference. The same thing like a school teacher in no different like an elementary school or a high school or something like that. You got your teachers that teach because it's their job. And you got your teachers that teach because it's their job and because that's what they want to do and they want to help people. Now, even though some of them have that attitude of wanting to help, sometimes personalities clash, or they have that attitude of wanting to help, but they also have an attitude of superiority because I'm staff and I work here and I do this. I am better than you. And that's not true. I mean, none of us are better than anybody else. Period. That's just point blank, period. I don't care what your color is. I don't care anything that, it just, yeah. Anyway, so hopefully, you guys are watching don't end up in prison. If you've not been to prison, if you do have to go to prison, try to make it a positive experience. Turn a negative into a positive. How do you do that? How in the hell can prison be positive? Kev, you done lost your mind. Well, it can be. I took my prison time. I went back to school. I got a couple doctorates. I helped people. I was part of the JCs. I took every single class that I could take. Me and my little brother Eric and my buddy Ormond, us three have the most certificates and completed classes while inside the Department of Corrections in the history of the Department of Corrections. I have 100 and something different classes that I took and completed courses, So, and Eric and Ormond same way. So try to take advantage of your time. Make a better you. You can either you can leave two ways. One of two ways. You're leaving one of two ways. Either better or bitter. A lot of that choice is on you. What choices are you going to make? What programs are you going to try to get into? They tell you no for a program, keep trying. Don't take no. You got people on the outside, have them keep pushing, 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 try to get you in that program. You got kids out there, you got a long sentence, you got to take a program before you can get a minimum wage job. Pushing, 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 and tell you want to support your kids. You want to be a parent. You want to do what's right. You need this job. It's not just because you want to stack your locker up and fatten it up. You want to do what's right. You have to fight for what you want. And I don't mean in a bad and violent manner. I mean through paperwork, through persistence, showing that you want to change and you want to be a part of programs and stuff because you want to be a different person. And then if the staff still fails to comply and help you towards these programs, then you start putting their own words back to them. Candace Department of Corrections, they talk about how making safer communities and stuff, and that how important family visitation and programs and stuff are to a person's rehabilitation. I don't know how many times I reminded them of their mission statement. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If there's anything, if you want me to elaborate on any of these programs, whether it be a JC's program, Department of Corrections, Reaching Out from Within, any of these programs, I am more than willing to elaborate on and we can discuss. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get them numbers up. Let's get them up, get them up, get them up. Share. Tell your friends. Go check out that fool Kev over there. Man. Anyway, y'all, I love you guys. God bless. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you on the other side. I'm Kev, and I am